going to be able to win this motorcycle, guys. He's going to sign this right here. One more time, guys. Give a huge round of applause. It's so real.
This is incredible. I don't know how to ride a motorcycle, but I want to learn right now. No, let's not do that. That's a bad idea. Hey, that sizzle reel was amazing, by the way. It's so action-packed. I just met the guy who put it together. His name is River. Let's give it up for River for making that awesome.
Oh my gosh, it is packed in here. Yes, this is what I love to see. So I am your moderator for this celebrity spotlight. I am KB. Welcome to All Things Carlos. That's what I'm affectionately calling it. Okay, so to kick us off, I'm going to do things a little bit differently since this is my first time moderating in the Grand Ballroom. So I am going to start off by playing a little rapid fire game. And I am now dubbing it Getting to Know the Real Carlos.
This is very dangerous. I don't like where this is going at all.
Honestly, it's going to be the most random questions ever, so just get ready for it.
Great.
And I have to say, you're in for a lot, okay?
Great.
Okay, so first question, and we're going to go as fast as possible. So it's
So hold on. Okay. I just have to get...
Is your stress level high?
I get very stressed by quizzes. You remember, like, when we were younger, like, on Facebook, all the, like, quizzes started popping up, like, what Disney princess are you? And stuff like that.
I feel like you're a Jasmine, if I'm being honest.
You know what? And she is a Disney princess now, I'm Princess Leia.
Come on!
So, I have a difficult time with quizzes like that because the questions are too, they're not factoring everything, you know, into the question. You know, there's so many different circumstances, so many different variables, you know, it's very complicated. So I have a tough time answering questions, so here we go.
Luckily, there's no wrong answer here.
I beg to differ.
Okay, so first question, it's Tuesday.
I can't hear anything, okay.
I'm not gonna lie.
Just Viber.
Just it's true.
Okay, cool.
You could also do
I'll
that.
do that, yeah.
Okay, so it's Tuesday, you're off work, you're not working on the Flash. Do you cook or do you order in?
Okay. No, I order in these days, most recently, because I spend most of my time not working on the Flash, working on another project, which takes up a lot of my concentration and my time, so I don't really have the time to cook. I'm also very slow at most everything that I do, so what would take a normal person, 20 minutes to cook takes me an hour and 20 minutes, so cooking is not in my...
Okay,
Go ahead.
Okay. Dream comedian to work with.
Say again?
Dream comedian to work with.
Dream comedian to work with? Probably Sarah Silverman.
Ooh, yes, good answer. Backstreet Boys are NSYNC.
Okay. Whoa. So here's the thing. For me, Backstreet Boys came first. That's just the way that it happened. I learned about them first, I heard their music first, and that was a great in for me. And I like them because their songs they have a lot of heart, but then NSYNC came along, and everybody was talking about NSYNC. Everybody was talking about how hot JC was, and JT, and all these people, and I'm like, man, I'm into Backstreet Boys, like, those are my boys. And then, I heard the NSYNC canon, I was like, I get it. I get it. It's bubblegum. It's like textbook bubblegum. It's very...
I'm still hearing Backstreet Boys though.
It's a complicated answer. Backstreet Boys is like where my heart is, but like, don't tell Backstreet Boys, I listen to NSYNC more. You know what I mean? It's that kind of relationship.
Okay, Lost or Game of Thrones? There's a house divided in here. Both have complicated endings, though. So.
Here's the problem. I've never seen Lost.
Oh my gosh, do you feel the judgment? You've never seen Lost?
And just like that, I was kicked out of the city of Sawyer.
So Game of Thrones by default then?
By default, I have full intentions to watch Lost. So,
When you get a free moment,
yeah.
hypothetically.
Yeah.
Okay, Cyborg or Green Lantern?
Hold on. Green Lantern, no. No, I'm not hating on Cyborg. Cyborg is, cool as hell, but, Green Lantern. That's it.
Go-to karaoke song.
Okay.
I feel like this is gonna be a three-part answer.
Actually, I don't. One of the reasons I don't like this question is because I don't like being in that situation of like being forced to do karaoke, and then I have to look in this like 300-page tome to like pick a song, and like I'm not good with lyrics. Like I don't memorize lyrics. I just sing the.
You just know the melody.
Kind of like mouth along to whatever vowels I feel like it is without actually saying any real words. Because words don't really stick with me as well. But most recently, the song I chose was Man Eater by Hall & Oates. Great song. It's a great song.
Great song. Okay, you're in the Matrix, red or blue pill? I told you it was gonna be random.
Red or blue pill? I have to follow Alice down the rabbit hole. Or I have to follow the rabbit down the rabbit hole, so I think I'm gonna go with the red pill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always the best answer. So, your next EP, you're doing like an ode to the 20s, it's like a jazz EP. Do you duet with Grant or Jesse L. Martin? I'm gonna make you choose. Yeah.
It's like, do I like my brother or my uncle better? Like, the answer is clearly my uncle. My uncle Jesse Martin.
Right.
Grant is so annoying.
Like, a duet with Grant, but Jesse, hands down.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with Jesse.
Okay, you have two jobs in the world. There are only two jobs. You can either be a dog food taster.
What taster?
A dog food taster.
Dog food taster?
Or a deodorant tester. Like you have to sniff people's armpits. Which one are you going with? I told you.
That's the thing. I wish I could say no comment, but I can't. This is a panel. I have to give an answer. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say no comment.
Kind of setting you up for failure, I feel like. Yeah. Hamilton or Dear Evan Hansen? Guys, honestly.
Okay. This is another one of those by default answers, only because I had tickets. Let me tell you how frustrating this story is. So I had tickets for Dear Evan Hansen, right? And they were for, what was it, Tuesday night, and I was like, great, I'm gonna be there for the 8 p.m. show on Tuesday night, it's gonna be amazing, I've been waiting to see this musical, I've heard nothing but great things about it. And I was feeling very bold that day, because I had to turn in a self-tape audition for a little movie called A Star Is Born that day. So I was like, I rented out like a little space where I could do the self-tape, and I did the tape and everything like that. And I sort of took my time with it, because I wanted to do a good job in the audition. But then I looked at the watch and I was like, oh, well, I have to leave right now if I want to make it to the theater in time to see Dear Evan Hansen. And as I was leaving, I realized, oh, it's a 7 p.m. show tonight, because that's what happens on Tuesday. So I didn't get to see Dear Evan Hansen, and I tried to go to the box office and try to get them to, maybe give me a ticket for the next day or something, and they were like, well, it's our policy that you can get another ticket since you missed tonight, but you're gonna have to try again in 6 months. I was like, well, who knows where I'm gonna be in 6 months? I'll probably be in, I don't know, Vancouver shooting a TV show or something. And that's exactly what I was doing. So I never got to see Dear Evan Hansen. So Hamilton by default.
I have a couple more questions, but I want to get 2 audience members to come up because after I ask these questions...
Is that the line for questions?
It is!
Oh no.
I know, I love it. They are all here for you. Okay, so next question. Because we're basically the same age, so we grew up in the 90s.
Yeah.
Nintendo or Sega Genesis?
Okay. I mean, here's the thing. Nintendo owns a lot. Like, they have a lot of intellectual property. So, I like a lot more things that Nintendo has, made and sort of propagated out there. So by default, just by virtue of its being a bigger company and having more games out there and consoles, Nintendo is obviously my choice. But I'll never forget playing Sonic on Sega Genesis. That was my jam. The little loops, collecting the rings. It was a good time.
I feel like Sonic was the best game on Sega, but we had Mario Kart, we had Donkey Kong, we had all of the things on Nintendo, so I stand by that answer.
Not just Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
Come on. Nintendo 64. Wii.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Too much.
Possibilities are endless, right? Okay, so first question. Let's get to some fan questions, and then I'll weave in some other fun ones throughout.
Oh, great.
So go ahead.
I was just kind of curious, what has been your favorite episode of The Flash? Since you got so many.
Okay. So, I have 2. One is episode 115, which I believe is titled Out of Time. That was just, I think to date, one of the most brilliant episodes that I think we've ever come up with. The idea was, hey, none of our audience knows that time travel is a thing in the show. Even, the comic books fans that, are familiar with The Flash and know that time travel is an element, we haven't seen it play a part in our show yet. So why don't we have the craziest possible outcome in this episode, and then reverse everything when we find out at the end of the episode that Flash can reverse time. It's a truly brilliant idea that manipulates all of your emotions and expectations, and I think that's what we're in it for, is manipulating you. So, I think that's one of my favorites. The other favorite is 213, Welcome to Earth 2. The first time we go to Earth 2 and we see alternate versions of these characters. I think that also, for similar reasons, was an impactful one because we messed with your expectations. Thank you.
So I will say that the musical episodes are some of my favorites. Have you ever pitched an original song?
Yes.
Ooh. So, what are they saying? What can season 6, because I didn't ask Eric if you guys were doing a musical episode this season. If so, can we hear some new music?
Well, here's the thing. As of the end of last season, I knew that the answer was like a definitive no, just because, the current hierarchy at that time, it was too complicated to sort of do it again. It was, it takes a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of planning and a lot of money to sort of make a musical episode happen. So that was sort of our answer as of last year. But now we have a new showrunner, Eric, who's
oh my gosh, I love him.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's like a real fanboy of this stuff, and he like really tries to, make good on sort of the comic book aesthetic for our show. But yeah, because we have a new showrunner, who knows?
Ooh, yes. Okay, question.
I'm a huge fan of you. I'm also a huge fan of Hartley Sawyer. So I was
Of
wondering, what was your favorite experience working with him on set?
It has to be on set, correct?
I mean, if you'd like to share others, I'd be happy to hear them.
Okay. I'm going to share an offside one. Hartley is very funny. Like, very funny. Like few people make me laugh as hard as he makes me laugh on set. He just has this absurd sense of humor. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just out there. So I love him for that. But I'll never forget, we were both at a bachelor party for a friend, and I was out in the desert, and that was really like the first time that I sort of like got to know him, because it was all just sort of like work and fun and games up until then. But yeah, I remember like the sun was setting over these beautiful Joshua trees, and we were just like standing out there like beholding this majestic vista, and we must have been talking for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, just like about life and philosophy and like, you know, relationships and stuff like that. And just like, I remember like just sinking into that moment and the beauty of everything, just being like, wow, you're a real cool guy. So that's probably what carried on. Yeah.
Did you gaze at each other in the moonlight?
Longingly. Well, the moon was not out yet.
Oh, okay.
So it was sunset time, which is more romantic.
It is. It is. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Okay, so favorite character, I feel like the writing for your part is the best. I love the lines that you get. They're like, and I love your genuineness when you act things out. Also, so when you signed up for that part, did you know that you were going to get superpowers? How did you feel about that? And as your fans and stuff, how did they respond to adorable versus power vibe?
So I did and I didn't know. When I auditioned for the show the first time, I didn't know. I just thought it was like a character that they had like made up to be, you know, the supplementary best friend to the superhero, you know, and I was like, I could do that, I know that character. So, you know, I sent in the tape and stuff like that, and then they were like, we really like you, we want you to come in and like do it for realsies this time in Los Angeles. So they flew me out to LA, and I did a screen test for the character with the same sides and everything. And I remember right before I went into my audition, one of the executive producers of our show handed me a little comic with the big words "vibe" on it, and I was like, "Thanks," you know, like why? You know what I mean? Like inner dialogue was like, "Why are you handing me this?" But thanks for the free comic book, I guess. I don't know. And so then it was like, we're really excited to have you on board for this. Really excited to see you audition. We loved your tape and stuff. I was like, oh, okay, that's really cool. And then he walked away, and I was like, well, I have some time before my audition. I'll just like flip through the pages. Oh, I'm this guy. And right before I went in for my final audition, that's when I realized that I had to probably at some point wear leather.
So, spoiler alert, I hope you guys are caught up on season 5. If not, it is on Netflix, but Vibe is no more.
Yeah.
So, what is gonna happen? Where do we find Cisco when season 6 picks up?
I mean, we find him in a great place, you know, like, we don't want to see him miserable, so he's, you know, Cisco's like having the time of his life, you know, he's got a new girlfriend, Camilla, he's living his life, you know, he's definitely living his best life. I think maybe there's a small part of him that, you know, misses some of the cool stuff about the powers, but I think right now he's very happy with where things are.
So I will say that my dream, because everyone knows that Crisis is coming, that's gonna, you know, happen. And I'm not gonna lie to you. In the Vibe comics, something that we haven't touched on is that Vibe is an amazing breakdancer. And so my theory is that he literally saves all of the Earth just by breakdancing. That's what I think is gonna happen. I think we're gonna get Vibe back, and that's what's gonna happen.
That'd be pretty amazing. Yeah. And I'm gonna ride a motorcycle.
Please. I'm gonna pitch it to Eric. You know, I'm gonna like hit him on the side if you're like, listen. Just let him breakdance the whole episode and save everyone.
And it's a musical episode too, so I'm gonna be singing on the motorcycle. I'm
Yes.
gonna be belting out Purple Rain as I save the universe.
Yes. We will get you this motorcycle here. Actually, I cannot make that promise, but you know, just
Isn't it supposed to go to some lucky fan? Like,
it is. And they'll let you borrow it in Vancouver, for sure. Okay, next look at this little nugget. So cute. Neat.
hi Nugget and baby, of course.
So anyways, Cisco has this really cool and complicated, conflicted relationship with his powers.
And I was curious how you would feel about, she's curious too, how you would feel about powers. Like, do you want them? What would you want? And would you even use them if you had them? Also, your shirt is pretty cool.
Oh, you mean this shirt? It says Trejo's Tacos, and that's Danny Trejo's very scary face.
But the most delicious tacos.
So are you asking me, Carlos, like, do I want superpowers in this life? You're here for Carlos, so am I. Yeah. I mean, who doesn't want to be superhuman, you know? It's Cisco, that's correct. Cisco does not want to be superhuman. That's a very good point.
She's right.
Yeah, no, I would love superpowers. And, you know, to be honest, I'd probably eventually reach the same conclusion that Cisco reached in the series, which is like, wow, having powers has been really awesome and really great. I'm ready to be normal again. I had that. I'm ready, you know, to just go back to normal. But yeah, I'd love some powers. Why not?
So my question to you, piggybacking off of hers, is if you could grow old with anyone that had, as Carlos, you could grow old with anyone that had superpowers, but not you, and you guys could just be life partners and live in the sunset together, who would it be?
Like any currently existing superhero?
Anyone.
It's such a silly question.
I aim for that.
You know, I probably go with somebody that turns invisible. You know, any of the myriad of superheroes out there that can turn invisible, because I need a partner in crime to get some stuff done, and what better partner than someone who cannot be seen. So yeah, that's what I would do.
That's awesome. Okay, Spider-Man.
So, on the set, do you have any friends? Like, in general, when you work on The Flash, do you have any friends there?
That's a great question. It is a great question. Don't. I do. We weren't always friends, you know? That's the thing with friendships is, you know, you start off in a very sort of superficial territory, like, oh, what's your favorite color? Oh, that's cool, yeah. You know, but then eventually, you know, you start making each other angry and annoyed. You really start getting to the deep stuff, you know? And I feel like it's not until you've like kind of like fought somebody or had words with somebody that like, oh, we're like friends now. This is... So, with that in mind, I would say like true friends like that, probably have about 10. Yeah, in Vancouver, not in my life. I have way more friends in my life. So many friends.
Maybe just a few more than 10, maybe just 15 total.
Yeah, maybe just 15.
It's okay, types are small, you know. Go ahead.
Okay, I was wondering if while filming The Flash, if there was anything that was particularly difficult for you, whether it be logistically, emotionally, or any other reason?
I mean, to be honest with you, every day brings a completely new set of challenges because every day is different, right? And also, you know, as I'm sure most of the people in this room are, you know, very tenacious, you know, hardworking, persistent people in this room. Every day you try to bring your best, you know, and try to like survive and try to see it from a new angle, try to keep it fresh for yourself, right? Because that's a survival skill, right? Is not to sort of get stuck in the same sort of mundane mentality every day. To try to be better every day, like figure out a way to make it better, figure out a way to make it new. So that process and that mentality naturally brings with it every day new challenges, new difficulties. So every day is completely different. Most recently, I shot an episode that was very challenging for me. I had to do a lot. In that episode.
Physically?
There was some physical, there's some emotional, Some logistical. Let's see, how do I tease this without giving anything away?
Give us everything. I'm all about spoilers. They make me so happy.
Yeah, it was just like, this season our show is getting like, kind of real a little bit. Like, it's kind of growing up a little bit as the fandom sort of grows up. And I think with that maturity comes some more difficult like backstories and difficult characters, if you sort of catch my drift. So that's definitely been the most recent challenge, is how do I honor that realness and that maturity and that depth while also like making sure that it doesn't sort of like sag the energy, you know what I mean? So that it's still exciting and funny and full of you know, heart and everything that, you know, I think makes the show so popular. Yeah, thank you.
So what is more challenging, kind of doing a procedural like this, or recording a new EP/album, which I hope that we're gonna get? I know, I'm just throwing it in
Well,
here.
so far, recording the album is the hardest thing, because I've been working on it for like 5 years and I don't have anything to show for it. No, with the TV show, it's easy, because every day you go to work, there's like a bajillion dollars going into it, and you know, a bunch of people making it happen. You know, we're talking about producers, we're talking about assistant directors, actors, crew, catering. You know, like so many people are behind this project. I'm doing everything myself. And that's when I'm not doing this or the Flash or whatever, you know. So that's it's a little harder. Yeah.
Okay, can we expect something in the next year?
I hope so. I don't know what to tell you, you know.
Okay, what's your question? Ooh, I love your glasses.
Okay, my question is, how old were you when you started playing instruments?
I think it was 8 or 9. I remember my mom got me a Casio keyboard from like Guitar Center or whatever the equivalent was at that time. And cause nice, yeah, and because she, you know, like we're a very musical family, we're a very musical culture, you know. So you know, I think she wanted to foster that in me and encourage those impulses and, you know, that skill set in me. So she was like, yeah, I got you a little piano. You can like, you know, if you use this function, you can slow it down and it'll teach you the fingerings to like play "How Deep Is Your Love" by the Bee Gees. And it's like, I love that song. So that's how I learned to play instruments. I started with my little Casio keyboard, and that was the opening.
We have a vibe here.
Look at this.
I love
this is
it.
A great cosplay.
Oh my gosh, yes. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you knew that you were going to have to wear leather, okay? So during your episodes, how many breaks did you have to take? Because this is hot. And were you comfortable in it?
Of all the superheroes and supervillains that were on our show, I am the most comfortable, and I am so happy about it. At least I was. Yeah, it takes me like 30 seconds to put the suit on. Grant has to take like 15 minutes to put his suit on.
Gosh, 15 minutes is still impressive though. Like, I'm like, dang.
Yeah, well, that's over time. You know,
Right.
he's perfected that process. But mine is so easy. I put on the pants, which have these neat little suspenders on them, and then I put on the jacket, I zip it up, and I'm good to go. You know, like that's pretty much all it takes. And if I ever get hot or whatever, zip. That's it. Oh, well, the gauntlets are a pain in the butt. They're kind of a pain in the butt because they're Velcro, and like if you don't like get it flush, you know what I mean, when you Velcro them up, you can see a little bit of the Velcro and stuff like that. We don't want that. We want it to look pretty. We want it to look like it's not Velcro and like there's actual money behind it. So yeah, it comes with a set of challenges, but it's all good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. So.
Like your shirt, by the way.
Be any other character in the Flash. Which character would you be?
You know, I would say Kid Flash, But where's Kid Flash?
I don't know, traveling the world?
I don't even know where he is. Is he traveling the world? Doing his thing? I don't know. I like Keenan though. Keenan's great. Yeah. That's a very short answer to a very complicated question. So yeah, Kid Flash.
Hi. So Cisco has a lot of adorable personality traits, but I was wondering what's the most important trait of him to you, or the trait that stands out the most?
That's a great question. Fantastic questions. All the other questions have been great also, but that is the best one. And she gets the prize today. You won a brand new motorcycle! No, I'm just kidding.
I'm not sure
for you.
that.
You can't give that away. I don't have the authority to give that away. Of Cisco's traits. I think his intelligence is very important, and I think that's definitely one of his trademark qualities. I mean, the guy can do anything. I don't even think it's logistically possible for Cisco to even exist because he's so talented. But, so even though his intelligence I think is key, I think more than anything, it's his ability to access levity in a situation. You know, even in the most dire of circumstances, he's got a one-liner. You know what I mean? He never takes it too seriously. You know, it's like life is like a movie for him. You know, and he's just like, I think he's just so blessed to be a part of this movie. That's his life. You know, so yeah, it's probably that. It's probably his ability to sort of not take it too seriously and, you know, to sort of, I don't want to say divorce himself from that reality, but to objectify it a little bit in a way that gives him a little bit of control. Because if it's, you know, if I'm being attacked by a giant, you know, avalanche or a giant, you know, flash flood or something, and I have to run for my safety, I'm much more likely to have the courage and the reaction speed to avoid that if I think of it as that scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark where Harrison Ford is running from that boulder. You know, it's like, oh, this is just like that moment. You know what I mean? As opposed to just being like, oh, this is real life and I could die right now. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think that's probably one of his best qualities, if that makes any sense.
So speaking of which, a fan on Twitter wanted me to ask you if we're going to see more comedic scenes between yourself and Candice Patton. They said they really loved, which it's true, you guys have perfect comedic timing, and when you guys do scenes together, it's really great. So any more of that coming up for season 6?
You know, all right, so Candice and I love working together. Like, she's the best. She's an amazing human being. I love being her friend, true friend. But like, we can't do everything, you know? Like, we're already trying to like honor so many different like desires and wishes from so many fans and producers and actors out there. It's like, hey, can you guys just do everything? And it's like, no, we can't do everything. Like, Iris has to help Barry through X, Y, and Z, and I have to be here working with the tech and being with Camilla and stuff like that. Like, even though we have an hour per episode and 22 episodes in the season, there's only so much that we can do. That said, we do have a little bit of stuff in this season, but you know, it's early yet, so we might have a lot more in the future.
Hey, what's your question?
Okay, so, like when you were working with like the Supergirl cast, like what was like your favorite part of it?
What was it like, what?
What was like your favorite part of it?
So, this is an offset answer, but Jeremy Jordan,
So talented.
I know, he's hot. Jeremy Jordan loves escape rooms. And I also kind of like escape rooms, but he's like next level escape room. He's like that guy that's like, this is not a joke. You think I brought you on board to like mess around and stuff like that? We have an hour to get out of this room. Pick up the clues, go over there, find something, you know? But like, I actually kind of like that, you know what I mean? Like, because I kind of secretly take it a little too seriously too, you know? Because like we have to get out of this room in an hour. So he would like put together these teams, you know, of like all the Vancouver actors sort of shooting in the region, and we'd get together and we'd do these like multi-person escape rooms, and they were always so much fun. So that's probably my favorite part of working on Supergirl, is doing escape rooms with Jeremy Jordan. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, what was your favorite part of the musical episode?
My favorite part of the musical episode, I have several, because no answer can be simple with me, can it? One was, I had to do this, like, the guy who choreographed our Put a Little Love in Your Heart number, Zach Woodley, that's his name. Wow, how did I remember that? So Zach Woodley, he's amazing. He choreographed a lot on Glee. He was fantastic. I had such a great time working with him. But he had me, he was like, hey, how do you feel about like doing a knee slide in the middle of the number? And I was like, great, like that sounds amazing. And so we rehearsed it with the knee slide and everything like that. But then on the day when we were actually shooting it, he and the director, Dermot, had me do the knee slide into camera. So like, it was like the camera was like right in front and I had to like knee slide into the lens, and I was like, I feel like a superstar right now. You know what I mean? Because you sort of like can picture it in your head as you're doing it, like, you know, right down the middle. I don't know if they ever used that for the final cut of that episode, but it was fun to imagine that I was going to be the star of that moment.
You worked your whole career for that.
Yes, I worked for 30 years to be able to do that, yeah. So I like that part.
Thank you.
Hi, so I was wondering, what is your favorite superhero suit in the Arrowverse?
You know what? I like Kid Flashes a lot, but so there's like a new suit.
Tell us more.
I like it. I love it, actually, to be honest with you. But I know that not every fan is created equal, and some of you like to dissent, and say, well, that looks like crap. Great job, Flash people. I understand that. And obviously you're entitled to your opinion this time around, but you're wrong. Because this thing is badass. It's probably my favorite.
Suit just on the Flash? Because he's been in the Arrowverse altogether, so...
This is Flash specifically.
Ah.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us more.
Next question.
What's your favorite superhero pose?
Pose?
That's an interesting question. Are you like imagining yourself doing it right now?
Maybe I'm like just so small-minded. Maybe I'm just such a narrow-minded individual. But like, just the classic stance. You know what I mean?
It's like that Superman.
Yeah. I mean, like, I was doing something like this the other day, and I felt very powerful.
A lot like Captain Morgan.
But yeah, but that's so messed up. That this like imaginary like icon for rum has like a monopoly on this stance. Like, how messed up is that? Can we I just want to reinvent this pose so that it doesn't belong to Captain. That's not even a real person.
Look, it could be the new Cisco pose. Just
Great.
human Cisco,
Great.
Living in all of his glory in Star Labs, posing
right. Alright, so next episode I shoot, or next couple episodes, I'm gonna make an effort to do this.
And we're gonna know.
And only you are gonna know that it was because of this moment.
Which, guys, this is perfect because this is Carlos's first time at FanX, which is one of my favorite cons. So this is perfect. When you do that pose, it'll be like a little secret FanX.
And as soon as I get to Vancouver, I'm gonna forget. Count on that.
Okay, so this is gonna be our last fan question.
How did you feel being blessed working with The Flash, and how did it affect your family? ¿Cómo te ha bendecido trabajando en la serie del Flash y cómo te ha afectado en tu vida personal?
Gracias por esa pregunta. Se lo agradezco. So, this show has changed my life. Like, I was just like some actor, who had just graduated from my university with a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Musical Theater, pretty much one of the most useless degrees. And moving to New York to try to be a relatively financially successful actor, which is one of the most useless career choices, because the chances of that happening are actually infinitesimal. And I was just, but I was optimistic, I was like, I'm just gonna sort of throw myself at the canvas and see what sticks. And if it doesn't stick and I have to sort of figure out a different avenue, obviously I'll do that and I'll do my best doing that. But I think I was lucky enough to, I obviously worked hard, but I think a big part of it too was I was in the right place at the right time, and I have had some jobs that have really altered the course of my reality. When I started doing The Flash, when all of us started doing The Flash, we had no idea what it was going to be. And I'll tell you what, any actor who's on any television show feels the same way. It's very dangerous for me to count my chickens before they hatch, because in this industry, nothing ever really sticks around, and you never know. One day you could be, the hottest show on television, and then the next week you could be canceled. It's a very volatile industry and a very volatile career. So none of us knew how long it was going to last. And then imagine our surprise when this little roller coaster completely took off, mostly by the grace of being supported by such an avid fandom, because comic books have been around for a while, but now I think they're getting their due. You know what I mean? I think now it's at a different level than it's ever been. And so for me personally, as an actor and as a person, being fortunate enough to be in the 6th year of this massive movement of a show has changed everything. And I'm very, very lucky that I get to be here, listening to you ask me this question in this amazing getup and this Dominican getup, or Panamanian.
Dominican Republic. I hold dual citizenship. So
amazing.
So my mom was born Dominican Republic. I was born New York. So I hold dual citizenship. Yo soy doble ciudadano.
Amazing. And how crazy is that? How crazy is this reality? It's wild, and every day that I wake up, I have to I just feel grateful, and I'm happy that every single one of you could be here, and that I could be here, and that you could be here. It's all great.
Well, thank you so much, everyone.
Muchas gracias. Dios te bendiga.
De nada.
Everybody give a huge round of applause for Carlos! Wait, Carlos.
Thank you, guys.
I got something for you, Carlos.
Yeah.
Since you said you like this, we're gonna play this song for you. Hit it.